Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hello, hello, hello. I hope this finds you, and I expect that this finds you really, really well today. So let's get started. I'm Karen Lanoux from AttractMoreNow.com, and I help people move to the top of their field so they can live the life that they want. So today's topic is, are your dreams too big or are they too small? So one of the things that I find as I'm working with people on an ongoing basis is that sometimes they're kind of on one extreme or the other, more on one side than the other, and I'll talk about that in a second. So, uh, if you so can your dreams ever be too big? Yes and no. And so the reason is that if your dreams are too big, what happens when people's dreams are too big is that they just like they kind of forecast or wish and hope, and those are key words here, that this big thing is going to happen in their life. And here, I'm all about anything's possible, right? Absolutely, totally, anything is possible. But what I find is that sometimes people actually set up that they are going to make, for instance, they're going to make $10 million, right? And they've never made more than $40,000 a year in their life. So going from $40,000 a year to 10 million actually makes it pretty hard to make those steps forward, because it's even kind of hard for most people, or a lot of people, to kind of to conceive about what it would be like to make $10 million or $10 million a year, because it's just not in their bailiwick. It's just not in their purview. It's not in their everyday life, and chances are they don't even know people personally that do that as well. So what I find is when people set out these huge goals that are way beyond anything that they've ever done before, and I've had a number of people that I've worked with that have done this, what it does is it stops them cold. And why does it stop them cold? Well, it stops them cold because all of a sudden, as they're starting to work towards, or they're starting to kind of imagine what would a life in a business be like to create $10 million, it's just again not even within the range of their ability or how they think about things on a regular basis. And so they're setting themselves up. It's kind of like it's a fail-safe for success, or a fail-safe for failure. I don't know which one, but whatever it is, it stops them and it slows them down tremendously. And it's kind of like that. It's like, we tend to play both sides of the coin, where it's like, okay, well, yeah, I'm going for it. And on the other hand, it's like, but who really expects me to do $10 million? Who expects that for that to really happen? And so, we're kind of excited about it, but on the other hand, it's like, yeah, whatever, it's not going to happen, right? But also, what I find is that as they start moving forward, is that there's all kinds of stuff that comes up, stuff around. Well, what if I actually do have a lot of money? What will that do to my life? What will that do to my privacy? What will that do to my relationships with my family and my friends? Are people going to expect more from me? And so, those kinds of things all of a sudden really start to slow people down from moving forward. Now, on the flip side, having dreams that are too small, this is what I see happen more often than not, is people having dreams that are way too small for them. So just some examples of this is that well, it's like, I can't get out there. I don't know what to say to people. I'm shy. I can't get up and speak about what I do. Who's going to listen to me? Or I can't take that step again. It's kind of like, who am I to do this? And so their dreams get really small, and they're starting very small. Again, I work with a gal who she really wanted to do very well in her business, and she had an organizational business where she was helping people organize their offices and whatnot. And she kind of the best way where she lived was to get out and start speaking to people. She just was really fearful of that. And then we kind of went through that whole process, she and I, about what was getting in the way, how to kind of move beyond that, and we did. And she did very well in terms of getting out and speaking about her business after that point. Even for me personally, and when I tell people this story, they're just like, all right, Karen, I don't think that's absolutely. I don't think that's true at all. But what used to happen for me is it's not that I've ever been a shrinking violet. Certainly not. I've never been a really shy person. But when I had to get up and speak in front of people, I would just I would turn red. I would shake. My voice would shake. I would get superbly nervous, like truly, really, really nervous. And I really didn't want to speak in front of people. So even in small groups, like I remember I was in, I was learning how to, I was in a business course at college years and years ago. And we had to go around the table, and there was like 8 of us, right? And we had to go around the table and talk about what our findings were in this particular assignment that we had to do. And I was so nervous. Again, turned red, stuttered, couldn't talk, voice shake. My body was shaking, and I didn't even have to stand up. Okay, this is just sitting at a table. And fast forward to just really a few years later, because I made the decision that I wanted to actually get out and start speaking in front of people, because I understood that that was the number one fear of so many people, and so started to do that, and now it's commonplace. I do that. I do that all the time, and I also get to do this, on a live stream like this too. So here's the thing: is that you want to make sure that your dreams are not too small, that you're not limiting yourself too much. So I'm going to give you a couple of things that you can be doing today. I'm just looking at my notes here. Most of all, all of this it's about taking action, kind of setting out some goals and taking some action. But I'm just going to leave you with these particular questions to ask yourself. Because here's the thing, questions, and it's part of my QC2 method, asking questions on an ongoing basis, what it does is that it allows you to access just really what's all around you right now. And you're programming your subconscious mind to be able to look for those answers. So when I talk about you asking yourself questions or asking questions, I don't want you to answer the questions. I want you just to ask and see what bubbles up, right? I want you to wait to see what kind of ideas and inspiration, thoughts, kind of things that bubble up to the surface, because those are, you're accessing, an entirely different realm. Let's just say that when you were doing that. So I'm going to leave you with these 2 questions, and you can pick or choose one of them, or both of them. But really, the first one is, what would it take to double my income? And some people might say, well, geez, Karen, that's pretty limiting, isn't it? And it's like, yeah, yes and no. It's a start. So here's the thing, you could just start saying, what would it take to double my income? Again, don't try and answer the question. Just see what bubbles up. See what kind of ideas come to the surface. And then, you could double your income in 2 weeks. You could double it in a month. You could double it in 3 months. And then you just take the next step. It's like, okay, what would it take to double my income again? Or what would it take to grow it by 50%? You could be doing this on a monthly basis and start to see these quantum leaps, right? But the key thing here is starting to ask the questions, what would it take? So what would it take to double my income? Again, don't try and figure it out, because what happens with that is that we're accessing what we already know. And when we access what we already know, all we're doing is tapping into how we've been operating so far up to this point. So what you want to do, again, is ask and then just see what kind of inspiration shows up. This will take you so much further. It's amazing. The other question, I'll answer that in a moment. And the other question could be, really, what would it take to do what I love the way I want to do it? So again, what would it take to do what I love and do it the way I want to? And just, again, see what kind of information bubbles up. Again, I don't want you to sit down and go and say, okay, I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and this. I'm going to take all these steps here, here, and there, here. I want you actually just to allow the information to bubble up and to come forward, and that inspiration to come forward. Because when you do these things, again, amazing things happen. Amazing things start to show up. But once you answer those questions, and once you kind of get this inspiration and these ideas, your next step, take action. So take action. So ask these questions or ask one of these questions today. See what bubbles up. Take action on it today. Take action on it today. That is what's going to get you to your to make those big dreams happen, and start moving you towards even bigger things than you ever imagined possible. And you just have to follow that energy. Now, I was just watching a video, and I posted it on my Attract More Now Facebook page. So please go. If you please. If you're watching this from somewhere else other than Facebook, go over there and check it out. But it was a video, and it was of Jennifer Lopez, and what she was talking about is you need to follow what's inside of you. What is really inspiring you? Nobody else knows that. So again, even though when I say, I've had clients who's like, oh, I want to make millions and millions of dollars when they've not made very much in the past. Again, it doesn't mean that $10 million can't happen. You just might need to break it down to a little smaller portion and just start taking those steps towards it. Again, taking those steps, moving towards it is a crucial part. And so anyway, she talks about this, and it's a short little video, but it's pretty impactful because people told her that she couldn't sing, she couldn't dance, she couldn't act, she couldn't do all these things, but she knew in her heart what she could do and what she was here to do, right? So you want to, again, just keep moving forward and taking those steps forward, according to what is in your heart, what is in your knowing, what is in your own awareness. But take steps, right? Ask some questions, take steps. So here's the thing: if you want to talk about this with me, and you want to, you know that you want to move forward, you're tired of waiting, tired of the process just going way too slow, let's talk and let's see if I can help you out. So so what I'd like you to do is go to talkwithmeaboutthis.com. So again, it's talkwithmeaboutthis.com. And what you'll be taken to is a scheduler, and just schedule a time and you and I will chat. All right, until next time, just go out and do your magic. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to hearing from you. All right, bye-bye.